In this video, I'm going to be completely pulling back the curtains and showing you exactly how to build a superhero physique in just 6 months. Doing so without spending countless hours at the gym, without sacrificing your favorite foods, and without sacrificing productivity at work. By the end of this video, you're going to know exactly how to build a muscular body by just going to the gym 2 times per week, how to get a lean body without boring meal prep, and without doing any cardio whatsoever. Now, I'm not going to be holding anything back. I'm going to give you my entire system for free. I'm going to show you how to implement this starting in your life today. Then I'm going to show you how to build your superhero physique, so you're going to want to stick around to the end of this video. Just so we don't waste any more time, this video is only for career-driven businessmen who are going to put their ego aside, are eager and willing to learn so they can make an impact in their lives and the ones around them. So if you're not a career-driven businessman and you're ignorant to new solutions, you're not willing to put your ego aside, and you think you can coach yourself into a superhero physique, click off this video and watch my other content before returning to this video. Now, before we hop into the rest of this video, I want to show you some case studies to establish trust with you and that you can actually build a superior physique too. In 6 months' time, Lewis lost 20 pounds of fat and put on 10 pounds of muscle, from dad bod to absolutely shredded. You can see here he has a resting 8-pack. Ed had fat hanging over his Speedo, and he would only do cardio. So now we only have him resistance train, and you can see in just 6 months' time, he has strided shoulders, he has an upper shelf of a chest, and washboard abs. I told him he looked like the supervillain Deathstroke. Danny came to us because he was a stick. He had no muscle on his frame, no confidence, nothing on his legs, and now you can see that he has anchor arms. He has veins popping out of his biceps. His abs are protruding through his core. He's absolutely confident in his body. Lou came to us at 235 pounds after a big business meeting, and he said he couldn't go up and down the staircase without breathing heavy. Now on the right, he's completely lean. You see his striations on his shoulder, his waist is completely flat, and he has chest muscles that are just popping out. There are plenty more client testimonials, and I would love to show you more, but just know that in just 6 months' time, that you can achieve the superhero body that you want, just like these guys. Now, just a little bit about myself. I was a skinny fat kid my whole life. I had a gut hang over my waist. I had no muscle in my frame, with no self-respect and no self-worth. Just a complete pushover. My friends disrespected me, my peers disrespected me, and I was completely invisible to women. Some very important things, especially with young men. Now, these thoughts went so deep that I even contemplated taking my own life at one point. And my closest friend at the time, he recommended me to his personal trainer that had helped him also get in shape and also get over these bad thoughts. And I'm glad he did, because that's when I started my fitness and mental health journey. Now, even though I did lose some fat and did put on some muscle, it wouldn't be a journey without some bumps along the way. Now, I went off to college my freshman year and I put on 25 pounds, mostly fat. I weighed in 195 pounds, the heaviest I have ever been, until I swung the complete opposite way my junior year, and I lost 40 pounds, absolutely shredded, but I didn't know there would be consequences. Ones like having no libido, not being able to get hard. I was always cold and just always thinking about food. Because of this, I developed an eating disorder called bulimia nervosa, and I restricted my diet so much that I would lose control at night and then purge it out just so I can do the same thing over again the next day. This is how I thought to stay lean if I binged one night and then purged. Now, it took me about a year to stabilize myself, but then that's when I decided that I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure no one has to go through that like I did just to be in shape. Now, you've probably tried a bunch of fad diets that you heard were great on the internet. You've done endless amounts of cardio that didn't help you lose fat, but only to make you sweat. You may have had a personal trainer who wasn't qualified to help you. Now, the reason why these fad diets don't work is because they're highly restrictive. You don't get to eat your favorite foods, which make it super unsustainable. Now, the reason why the cardio workouts failed is because they're time consuming, unenjoyable, and it's simply not the best way to build your dream physique. Now, unfortunately, most personal trainers will fail you. I know this from experience because I worked in gyms for many, many years. My system operates completely differently because you only need to spend 2 to 3 hours in the gym. You don't have to do hours and hours of cardio, and you do not have to eat the same boring foods over and over again. And unlike other personal trainers, I have actually helped hundreds of men build their dream bodies. Now, you're probably thinking it's impossible to build a superhero body without taking hours of productivity away from work or without restricting your favorite foods. And to be honest, most people think it's impossible when first starting out. because so did I. Now, the three main pillars of the metabolic resurgence system are weight training 2 times per week, a fully customized nutrition plan, and a no cardio plan. So a typical fitness program has you go to the gym 5 to 7 times per week. You're doing endless amounts of cardio. You're doing so many exercises you don't even know what is working, and you're very tired or burnt out by the end of it because you're spending so much time you don't even know what is going on. Now, in my 2-hour-a-week system, you're only going to the gym 2 times per week, and you're hitting weights only. You're doing less exercises because you're doing the right ones, especially compounds, which gives you more energy, and you're only spending 1-hour workouts twice per week. So in my method, you're going to focus on these main things: technique, compounds, antagonist supersets, intensity, and some other variables that are just as important. Starting off with technique. We want to get technique down right away because you get more muscle growth per rep. You don't want to be spending endless amounts of time at the gym doing the wrong technique, getting nothing out of it, which means you can do less sets since you're getting more out of each rep. And it's easier to recover from because your joints aren't taking the movement. And then that means you're also going to get more done in less time. Look, just do the exercise correctly as soon as you can, and you get more stimulus for less time. And that's a win for everybody. Compound exercises are the bulk of the programming. So compound exercises are just exercises that hit multiple muscle groups at one time. You think of your squats, your bench, your deadlift, your rows, pull-ups, etc. These exercises are so important to us because you are trying to mitigate time at the gym and get the most out of your training. Well, what better way to hit multiple muscle groups and to maximize your time than doing these exercises that give you so much stimulus for every rep that you do? Now, we do ramp up into antagonist paired supersets, or for people who are super pressed for time, even less than an hour. And all this is doing 2 exercises with opposite muscle groups. So you have your dumbbell row here, you're going to finish your set, and then you go into a chest press, and then finish your set with minimal rest period. All this does is it take away half the time you would do at the gym, and that you are doing 2 muscle groups that will not affect each other in each lift. Therefore, you can work on getting bigger, stronger in each one of these lifts without it conflicting. When I talk about intensity, I'm talking about training to failure because you have more time to recover, which means you're less fatigued because you work out less than the average gym bro. So since that's the case, every time you enter the gym, I want you to think about really pushing it. For your compound exercises, once you get your technique down, that you get really close to failure, about 1 to 2 reps away from complete failure. So unless you have a spotter or something like that, then you can go to failure. But even so, I don't recommend it because it's very high risk. And for isolations, as long as you keep your technique dialed in, that you can go to failure or about 1 to 2 reps away from failure. So you get the most stimulus for that muscle group. Now, the other variables are just as important. You want to make sure your sleep is on par. You want to make sure that you're going to bed around the same time and waking up nearly around the same time, that you're getting 6 to 8 hours of high quality sleep. Stress management entails everything here, okay? So for stress management, this includes your financials, it includes your family, your personal life, and so much more. You want to make sure that all of this is trying to be mitigated in terms of stress so you have more time to allot or more stress management to allot for the training at the gym and the nutrition to recover. And lastly, the nutrition piece, which is you want to make sure that you are getting mostly whole foods, that you're hitting your protein target, and you're hitting your calorie target, eating mostly whole foods. Simple as that. You get optimal results in less time following these principles. Now, this is an exact program for 2 days a week trainees. And if you look at it, we focus on the things that are most important to my demographic, especially the businessmen, especially who sit behind a desk. So their shoulders are usually rounded forward a little bit and their tailbone is tucked a little bit. And sometimes your lower back hurts because you sit down all day. So the way we've set this one up, we go over the first day with you. So back compound, just to pull your shoulders back, build up back muscles, get a nice big V taper for the superhero physique. Incline dumbbell bench to get the upper chest rack that we call. And then you choose isolations that you like. We just know that most men that we've worked with like to hit their arms more just because they won't have their shirts being super tight around the arms. and also doesn't like big biceps. And then we finish off with legs to make sure that we have strong legs, that we don't have any hip pains, especially when getting older and older. Now, the fad diet versus the resurgence diet. So the fad diets are mostly known for being super restrictive. I would know because I did it and developed an eating disorder. They're unsustainable. You spend hours prepping. You're so many social challenges. You can't even go out. You can't have a drink with your friends. You can't eat your favorite foods when you go out. And then because you're doing this, you have an all or nothing mentality leading to food cravings. So to mitigate this, I've now included your favorite foods, which we talk about all the time, which has you getting long-term results because you're able to sustain it for longer periods of time. And all this, you don't have to do minimal prepping overall, because I've built a system where you can do the most efficient way of prepping or not prepping at all and just getting the foods that are super easy to make that's already at the stores. You can have a fun social life. So what you'll see is we can set up a point where you can go out to eat and still stay on target, eat the foods that you want, have the drinks that you like. And this way you can satisfy your cravings. Now in the Resurgence diet, we break it down to 2 major portions. First off is the protein goal. We want to make sure that we hit our protein goals right away. That is the most dire importance. And here's a cheat sheet that we give right away that helps you get protein from many different sources, especially if you don't know where protein comes from. Each cut, each part of the meat, you can see that there are leaner and fatter cuts just depending on your goal. And then once your protein goal is hit consistently, we move on to calorie goal, which in this case will help you dictate how much higher you need to go, maintain where you are, or a little bit lower than where you are, just depending on the goal. All right, so the Resurgence diet can be broken down into 3 major portions for you guys. And the reason why it's custom to you is because it just depends on the lifestyle that you have. So some of you will have easy meals if you like to bring meals to work. Some of you guys go out to eat a lot, like your sales guys. They'll do a lot of sales dinners and that have business lunches a lot. And then fast food for the people who go in meetings and only have 10 and 15 minutes to Uber eat something or to walk out and grab something real quick. So easy meals. So for those who do want to meal prep a little bit, who don't want to make it boring and just don't want to eat chicken breast, broccoli, and rice, I've made a system where you can easily do this and make it taste really good. And if you're like, okay, I don't want to meal prep all the time, well, there's great options now that are definitely nutritional friendly, that are macro friendly, that have your protein targets and calorie targets in mind that taste great. Restaurants. I make a whole restaurants guide for you, and then I'll give you the base here, which is at most of the time when you go out to eat, you're going to focus on getting 2 palms worth of protein, 1 to 2 fistfuls of vegetables, 1 to 2 cupped handfuls of carbs, just depending on the size of the man. And then generally speaking, no fats, mixes, or liquid calories because you just don't know how many extra hidden calories are in that food. And also, I do have guides where you go to different styles and types of restaurants and what I usually get these restaurants and keep you on target for lower calorie and higher protein meals. All right, for those super busy people or just want to eat on the go all the time, I do have a fast food playbook that has over 20 plus restaurants as we speak that are chains across the United States that have under 650 calories and 40 grams of protein per meal. And then you can click on the website because, yes, they do update their nutrition facts. So we make sure that we keep updated with them as well. So the main part of this is that we choose your non-negotiables and we follow the 80-20 rule. So whatever food that you like or something that you cannot take out of your life to stay on track, we actually keep it in. But we just make sure that 80% of the time that you're eating mostly whole foods that are generally protein focused, fiber focused, and then stay within the protein and calorie target. And that's it. So what if you want to splurge one day? So what happens if you have a wedding, a big birthday party, or something big where you're going to be around a lot of quote unquote bad food or be drinking a lot? Well, this is how we would do it. We call it the protein preload. So what you're going to do is you're going to load up on the leanest protein earlier in the day and pair it with fiber, fruit, vegetables. You can get really close to hitting that protein target or actually hitting it. And then for the rest of the day, you're not going to eat much else. So when you get to that event or that big thing, that you now have room to eat 1,000 calories plus, which means you can eat almost whatever you like and drink a few drinks if you wish to do so. Now, the never cardio exercise routine. So most programs that I've seen, that I've worked with, have you on the treadmill, elliptical, rower, you name it, almost 5 to 7 times a week. And that is so inefficient of your time because you're doing the complete opposite of what you were trying to do, which is build a physique that's like a superhero. And the new way is we're going to focus on 10,000 steps. Just know that the average person gets 2,500 steps a day. That is nothing at all. And so getting 10,000 steps will be the new goal, and here's why. You burn more calories. Super simple. And you're like, oh, well, doesn't cardio burn more calories? Yes. But guess what? You're not going to spend more time in the gym. What you're going to do is you're going to integrate it into your life. We're going to make ways to make it easier to get your steps in throughout the day. So you can eat more calories if need be, and that it's easier to be in a deficit. So if you were to walk 2,000 extra steps, it's 100 extra calories burned. And then guess what? If you want to be in a 500 calorie deficit to lose a pound a week, which is the actual correct measurement, then all you have to do is do 10,000 steps. And guess what? You'll be in a caloric deficit losing 1 pound a week if you were to do this. So I created a more steps cheat sheet to help you guys dictate how you like to get your steps in. And these are my favorite ones so far. So you can either park further away from wherever you're at. So whether it's work, whether it's grocery shopping, just park further away to get more steps in. You can take the stairs instead of taking the elevator, as long as it's not 100 floors high. You can walk during your long calls, which is my favorite. So during my long business calls, that I make sure I go for a walk, as long as my face is not being shown, so I'm able to walk around. Now, during lunch breaks is a huge one for my clients because they usually have an hour lunch break. So they take 15 minutes to heat it up and eat their food. And then they go on a 40 to 45 minute walk, which usually helps them get to 10,000 steps. And if you're unable to get away from the desk, you can get a beneath the desk treadmill. You can get a stationary bike. And on times where you're not in a meeting where your face is being shown, or that you're not doing super diligent work at the moment, that you can pedal, that you can take a very slow walk while you're still at the desk being present with work. And trust me, it does work. A lot of my clients love this option. And lastly, just make it enjoyable. I now walk every single day during lunch, during my phone calls, and it's the easiest way to help time pass and get my steps in so I'm healthier, I'm leaner, and these are all great ways that all my really driven businessmen get their steps in because they're trying to integrate it into what they do already. So if you're a career-driven businessman who wants to look like their favorite superhero without spending countless hours at the gym, without sacrificing your favorite foods, and without sacrificing productivity at work, then click the link below and book a call. And we're going to see where you are and where you want to go. We'll see if we're a good match to work together, and we'll get started. Again, this is only for high-performing men who are looking to build their dream body. So if you don't fit that, then go watch some of my other content and then get value there. Then you can come back and get right and back into action. So guys, there are only 2 options from here to get the results that you want. You can take all the information I gave you here today, test it out for yourself, spend all the hours trying to figure out how to build a dream body, and then learn what works for you. But that may take years to do, hence why we created this program. You have option 2 where you hop on a call with us right now and we can shortcut all of that, giving you only what you need based on what we've tried and experimented on for years. It's fully customized to you so you can achieve a superhero physique you've always wanted in just half a year max without constantly testing for 5+ years what works and what doesn't, because that's what we've done. So if that sounds like you and you're 100% sure that you're ready to take option number 2, book a call at the link below, because truthfully, building a superhero physique is super lonely. Most people give up before achieving the results they want. But what if you can never worry about ever thinking about what your body looks like ever again? Not having to spend countless hours in the gym doing all these crazy fad diets, sacrificing your favorite foods, eating the same boring meal prep, and doing arduous cardio. And all this taking away from your current lifestyle and productivity at work, which is the most important things to you. What would this do for you? Honestly, it would probably mean the world to you because time is money. Most training and nutrition systems don't give you all this time back. That's just the minimum of what we do. So guys, last time, if this sounds like you, book a call by clicking the link down below and we'll go over exactly where you are now and get you where you want to go. And if we're a good fit to work together, we'll hit the ground running. See you on the other side.